Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're covering a very important question which I actually get asked frequently, which is how do I overcome gym anxiety? I feel like people are judging me in the gym. I'm scared to go to the gym. I don't know how to start. And I wanted to address some of these questions and to address a pathway forward so that you guys can overcome your gym anxiety and get started on smashing your goals. So firstly, and this might be super obvious, but hire a coach or go with a friend that's experienced, right? Go with somebody that you know is doing things correctly or can show you how to do things correctly. They can introduce you to the pieces of equipment. They can show you how to perform a program properly, and you will feel much more comfortable in the gym because you know that you're with an expert or somebody that has a ton of experience. That is just simple and tried and true and proven again and again and again. It's the reason I have a job and have had a job for the past 10 years because people don't know what they're doing in the gym. And they can go on YouTube, they can watch videos, they can, hire an online coach. It still doesn't help somebody necessarily learn how to do things for the first time correctly. So going with somebody in person can be a huge benefit for somebody that's brand new. If you don't want to hire a coach, you don't want to go with a friend, and you just want to do things on your own, my second piece of advice is that you need to have a plan, and you probably need to watch some videos, maybe here on YouTube. We actually have a full exercise library listed on our page with tons of different movements that you can check out. We also have a program that we're going to be launching fairly shortly. Probably by the time this video is uploaded, it's actually going to be out, and it's a beginner strength program 4 days a week that you guys can follow along with. So there are tons of resources out there for you guys to follow along with, whether you purchase a plan, watch a free plan on YouTube, and or hire an online coach. There's tons of ways that you can still be successful without what I was just saying previously of going with a trainer or a friend. I just don't want you to go in the gym and free ball it and walk around and try different pieces of equipment and try to piece things together, because that doesn't usually end well. You usually don't make that much progress, and that's usually going to be discouraging as well, because then you're probably not going to want to come back to the gym. So thirdly, and this is actually something I don't hear that often online, but try to go at non-peak hours. If you have ever stepped into a gym at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. or even 6 a.m., sometimes noon, depending on the gyms, but those are usually the most busy times in the gym. Every piece of equipment might be full. There might be people crowding the racks, crowding the equipment, and it's super stressful for somebody that's a first-time gym goer to get acquainted with the equipment or get acquainted with how it feels to go through a workout. So my piece of advice is go at non-peak times. So this could be something like 11 a.m. or 2 p.m. Or even later into the evening, where you're gonna have a little bit more space and free reign to use equipment, have that exploratory space, take your time, right? Because you're getting to learn something for the first time or the first few times. And that can be crucial in you actually getting more acquainted and feeling more comfortable in the gym, because you just have less people around and more free space. The other thing on top of that is that you don't necessarily need to use all areas of the gym on your very first time in the gym. So maybe you start on more machine-based pieces of equipment, or maybe you just start on the cardio equipment and just get used to kind of showing up at the gym, which leads me into my next and fourth point, which is you don't need to be perfect in the beginning. You don't need to go through your whole workout program the first few times. You can get used to just showing up at the gym and being in that physical location. So I always tell people, just work on the skill of showing up. If that means you go to the gym and you just walk on the treadmill for 20 minutes and you still went to the gym, you showed up, it's like, cool, you actually went to the gym, you showed up, you spent time in there, you got yourself acquainted with the cardio equipment. Maybe next time you go and you do the cardio equipment and you do a few machines, right? Maybe the next time you go do the cardio equipment and more machines, and you start to learn, you start to get more comfortable with certain areas of the gym. And that way you can build your knowledge base and you can build your comfortability. I think a big piece of people not being comfortable is not knowing what to do or not knowing how to use the equipment. So if there are staff on hand at your gym and they are walking around the gym, or there's a trainer that's not working with a client, trust me, I worked as a floor trainer for many, many years. They will be more than happy to show you how to use that equipment. They may ask you to do a free session even, which, if it's a free session, whatever, they'll probably try to sell you training after, but that is their job, right? So don't be afraid to ask the staff for help, because that is what they're there for. They want you to use the gym. They want you to be successful. They want you to use the facilities. That's why you signed up. So make sure to use the staff. If they're there on hand and they're willing to help you out, they can definitely show you how to do stuff as well. And like I said previously, we also have all the videos on our YouTube channel of how to do things correctly. And we have full workout videos and full workout programs on our channel. So if you're looking for, hey, I don't know what to do, I'm not sure where to start, just check out some of those videos or leave a comment down below. We'd love to help you out. The last piece, or kind of two pieces of advice that I do have, is obviously, I know I started this off with nobody cares, but at the end of the day, most people do not care that you're in the gym. They also started in the same place, usually working on themselves. They had goals, they had something they wanted to achieve, and that's why they're there in the first place. So for you to be in there working on your own goals, most people will not even give you a second glance, and that's totally fine. Obviously, there are a few bad apples in every single batch. You know, obviously, I think that the bad videos on YouTube and Instagram, etc., that get blown up and out of proportion, kind of leave a bad taste in everybody's mouth. But that should not discourage you from going to the gym and working on your own goals and your own priorities, because at the end of the day, if that's what keeps you back, then you aren't going to achieve your goals. You're not going to get where you want to go. And obviously, we want you in the gym. We want you achieving your goals. And that should not be the thing that stops you from moving forward. The last thing I wanted to talk about was group classes, because I do think that there is a very, very positive effect of having a group class or going to a group fitness studio. Having the community, having the, you know, the vibe and the, you know, it's like almost like a party is huge for a lot of people, and some people love their classes versus just going to the gym on their own. I think that can be a great lead-in. The one caveat with group fitness classes is that I've had a ton of clients come to me saying that they've done things like F45 or Orange Theory, and they actually ended up with an injury because of it, because there's not a lot of pre-screening. It's a one-size-fits-all workout program, and it is fairly intense with a lot of plyometrics and cardiovascular work. So they don't really work on building you a good strength foundation and building you from the bottom up. And that can sometimes, you know, leave you actually not in as good of a spot as if you were to go with a trainer or a physical therapist or a kinesiologist from the get-go and actually build yourself from the ground up. So I do love group classes. I think there's definitely a ton of value in them, and they do build great community, and people get very fit doing them. But for somebody brand new to the gym, I always just say, be careful, start low and slow. Don't go too crazy in your first couple classes, because the injury rates are fairly high, especially for people that are inactive or have been inactive for a very long time. So I just see that a lot, and that's my one caveat on group fitness, is that just be careful how fast and how intense you ramp up into that. And the last thing I'll kind of leave you with is that, like, a lot of the biggest, strongest people in the gym, whether it's women or men, they are usually also the nicest and the most willing to help, because they spend a huge amount of their time in the gym. And, you know, some of the coolest moments I've ever seen have been like really big, strong powerlifters or bodybuilders, you know, giving their time and giving their, you know, their help to people that are brand new, because they remember what it's like to start for the first time. A lot of those people have, you know, previous histories with either eating disorders, or they didn't like the way that they looked growing up. They were overweight. I've met so many of these people, and they are more than willing to help you out, because they have a deep history generally with fitness, and it's a huge part of their life. So they're happy to share that with you, right? I find that it's more often than not just the other kind of everyday normal people that might tend to be more judgmental than the people that spend their whole life and every day in the gym. But that being said, like I said, most people aren't judging you. Most people are in their own world. They're focused on their own workout, their own goals. They're looking at themselves in the mirror. They're filming their own stuff for their Instagram account. They're not watching what you're doing. And just because there's a few bad apples in every batch does not mean that that should be the reason that you do not go to the gym and smash your goals. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you got a little bit of insight. Hopefully this helps you actually step foot into the gym for the first time, whether that's alone or with a trainer or with a friend. I would love that for you. If it did help you, please leave a comment, because I love to read those comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We do release more videos like this every single month. Love you guys a lot, and hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.